Maybe we should backtrack a little bit. So what you are telling me is you have chosen a career, you have no idea what the career is. And if you did know what the career is, you'd have no idea how to do it. How many people here are starting to see where our frustration comes from? So is it okay if we go down this path, or is this too direct? It's okay? And if it's uncomfortable at any time, I'm happy to say just worship the company brochure. It'll all work out. But you're okay with this, right? So at some point, we're going to separate ourselves from the competition, like right now, because we're going to find out exactly how the human mind makes a decision. Wouldn't that be cool, since that's our job? That'd be the coolest thing in the world, right? So let's go to work. As we learn a couple of these things, I don't want anybody here to be embarrassed, because we don't know what we don't know. Nobody expects you and I to know every skill of every profession in the universe, right? So don't feel embarrassed. Instead say, oh, there's another thing that I didn't know, so I'm moving a little bit closer to get rid of all that stuff between me and where I want to go. So you all okay with that? Yep. So don't feel embarrassed. Nobody was as bad as me when I got started. I mean, I left dead bodies everywhere I walked. So, how many people here are desperate to find out how the human mind makes a decision? All right. We're not covering that skill today, but I will cover it enough so you have a general idea, okay? Just enough so we can do some magic words so you can leave here right away, because I want you to leave with a bunch of magic words that go ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching from the moment you go out the door, okay? And you can learn more about how this all works on your own. But are we all okay with that? Because we need some magic words. We're going to leave here and fill up the next event, fill up the next meeting. Magic word. So let me explain how the human mind makes a decision just roughly. Remember, it's the stuff we don't know that holds us back, right? So let me just point out two things about how the human mind makes a decision that we don't know, and hopefully that'll motivate you to start learning some more on your own. Would that make sense? So here's some stuff we don't know. Number one, the human mind is designed to make the final decision based upon zero information. No information is ever used at any time in the human making decision process. That's none. Not a zip. Zilch. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about your presentation now? Now, judging from the looks in your faces, I've gone too far. So, all right. You don't have to take my word on it. Let's do this. I'll give you some case studies. You're adults, right? Figure it out. Look at your own life. Just look at your own life and make up your own mind, okay? But I'd like to show you through a series of case studies that information has nothing to do with the decision. There's nothing in your presentation that's going to have any effect on their decision. You go, what? So let me do an example. Are you ready? Information. How many people here in this room would like to lose a little bit of weight? Wow, all right. A few others should have raised their hand, but that's okay. Now, just kidding. Let me tell you about us fat people. Us fat people got the information. We have brochures, books, we have CDs, we have DVDs, we have videos, online courses, we've been preached to, we've been lectured, doctors, newspaper, weight loss clinics, giant vitamin pills, protein shakes. Every fat person in the universe got the information. Ask any fat person in the universe, how do you lose weight? They're going to say, two things. Number one is eat less food. And number two is exercise more. Every fat person in the universe, we got the information. So if people made decisions on information, of course, that would mean then there'd be no fat people. But are there fat people? Will you see fat people when you leave here today? Hey, you can see us from hundreds of yards away. Now, the first thing you and I are going to do is train our mind. Every time you and I see a fat person over the next 2 weeks, we're going to say this, inside of our head, not out loud. We're going to say, people don't make decisions on information. Every time we see a fat person, the next 2 weeks, it's going to prove to us that people don't make decisions on information. You may not like it. Get over it. It's the way it is. I don't cause it. I'm just reporting. So based upon that, let's do this. Turn to your partner right now. Pretend they're fat. Some of you don't have to pretend. But just turn to them and say, people don't make decisions on information. Let's begin. All right. We're on the same page? By a show of hands, how many people now believe that no information is ever used in a human making a decision? Whoa, tough group. All right, case study number 2. Now, I can hold out longer than you, and I'll do this over and over again until it's painfully obvious, because we are not going on today if we're going to have our head in the sand believing in the Easter Bunny. At some point, we're going to have to take a cold, hard look at how this really works so we can make money immediately. So here's case study number 2. How many people here have information about your business? Do you guys have brochures? CDs? DVDs? Online videos? Websites? PowerPoint? Opportunity meetings? Webinars? Events? Testimonials? Research? Oh. All right, now. You guys got tons of information about your business, right? Now, all of your prospects basically see the same information, true? So ask yourself, yeah, all the prospects here see the same information. If prospects made the decisions based upon information, they all see the same information. Of course, that would mean that either all the prospects would join or none of the prospects would join because they all saw the same information. Is that true? Or is it true that maybe they all see the same information, but some join and some don't? So wouldn't it occur to us then that maybe people are making their final decision on something other than information? So as an adult, if we say we show everybody the same information, some say yes, some say no, obviously they're making their decision on something other than that information. So by a show of hands, how many people now believe the human mind uses no information to make a decision? All right, case study number 3. We will not go on, but we don't have a lot of time here today, so let me give you an example that's so painfully obvious, you can't even dispute it. Watch this. How many people here have ever sat down with a prospect? And the prospect's leaning forward, excited, yeah. But other times they're not leaning forward. What are they doing? Leaning back, yeah. And folding their arms. And rolling their eyes. Calling their lawyer. And you know from the moment you sit down, they've already made their final decision. And what was their final decision? No. Before you have said a single word of your presentation. So, let me ask again. How many people here now realize that the human mind makes the final decision based upon zero information? Oh, so you all agree or just start a case studies? But it's shocking. We don't like this. But the first thing we're going to learn, remember, it's the stuff we don't know that's holding us back. The very first thing we're going to learn is that people make the final decision based upon zero information. How do you feel about your presentation now? One of the most useless, time-wasting things for decisions. It has other purposes, okay? But what you and I are going to learn to do, well, let me show you something else you don't know about decisions, so make this easier. Would you like to learn some more things we don't know about what's going on? Are you all tired of all this stuff holding us back and punishing us? So let's try this. How many people here have done this? You give a 45-minute presentation. In a 45-minute presentation, you turn to your prospect and go, want to enroll? How many people have been there? How many people realize this is one of the most humiliating time for rejection, embarrassment? I hate it. How many people here besides me hate that moment? Yeah. How would you like to fix that forever? Yeah. So the problem is, at the end of a 45-minute presentation, we have to go and open ourselves up to total rejection and embarrassment. But let's ask ourselves this question. Did they really make their decision at the 45-minute mark? Or maybe it could have been the 38-minute mark or the 21-minute mark. Should we just take a look? Let's look when people actually make the decision. Case study number 1. When do people make the decision? Ladies, you know who you are. Ladies, have you ever seen a man with a remote control in front of a TV surfing channels? Click, 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 click. Have you all seen that? Click, 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 click. Ladies, how long does it take the man to make the final decision to watch that channel or not? Click, 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 click. Microsecond, right? Now, you're laughing. You say, men are so stupid. They make their final decision before the presentation. Before they've even seen the channel, they've already made their final decision on it. In that case, the man actually makes the final decision before the presentation ever started. Is that true? Based upon no information. Isn't that weird? Men, let's talk about the ladies. How many ladies here have ever been in a shoe store? 1,000 pairs of shoes up on the rack. You need a complete and total presentation about each pair of shoes. A little old shoemaker was sitting in Italy and tapping in brass tacks here, and this leather was taken humanely from the cow. It didn't hurt him that much. And do you need a full presentation on every pair of shoe in that shoe store before you move on? Or do you make an instant, immediate decision? Oh, those shoes are orange. Halloween's coming up. I'm a little overweight. I'm going to look like a pumpkin. No, wait. I went too far, sorry. But ladies, you make an instant, immediate decision before the presentation. Is that true? Yes. How weird is that? How many people here have ever been to a restaurant? 8 people. I'll play along. All right. But how many people here made a decision to go in that restaurant before you've even read the menu many times? So in that case, you actually made the decision before the information. How many people here ever ordered off the menu before you had all the information? Were the vegetables organically grown? Did the chicken have a happy life before they killed it? So in that case, we actually made the final decision to order that entree before we had all the information. How weird is that? So let me make it more than painfully obvious. How many people here ever received a telephone call from a salesman? How many seconds into the conversation before you made your final decision?